This is Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson, and we are back with our art journaling edition. I am so excited to show you my cover that I made. I took a little bit of time, and pretty much everything here is reused material. So this picture came from a catalog I found at the library. The background was an old dictionary page. These two pictures are also from the same catalog. And the dragonfly, I had a piece of paper somewhere that had the dragonfly on it, so I just used it. Let me show you real quick what the journal looks like, because we made it in the previous 2 episodes. And so if you would like to make it, you can just go back to those episodes and make the journal. So real quick, we have 4 ties for a reason. So normally I would untie just one side, so let's pretend that isn't tied. And the journal would open this way. But then when I'm done working in this direction, then I would tie this side, and then I'd be able to open the journal from the back end, and this is all an accordion fold. It's pretty big. So super excited to start, and today we are going to work on the first page that we have. And when we work in a journal and we do this whole open page, we call it a spread. So we are going to work on a spread instead of working on just one half that we can see. Now, to make sure that this is all flat, I'm just going to pull it open a little bit. Oop, and it looks like it got stuck somewhere with the glue I was putting on. Hold on, give me just a second. It'll come off. There we go. Just pull it open a little bit, and remember which side you're working on, because it's way too easy to go further. And our first page is dedicated to the beautiful us. Wonderful, beautiful, creative us who are starting to work in the journal. And it is inspired by this page. So what we're going to learn today is how to use contrasting lines, how to use texture and patterns to create a lovely design with just a pencil, extra fine tip Sharpie, and just a fine tip Sharpie. And of course, I just have a ruler and the sharpener, just in case. This is all we're going to need for this part of the project. So let's talk about lines real quick. Lines are nothing else than a dot going for a walk. So if I use my extra fine point here, or is it just fine? Yes, ultra, they call it ultra. Ultra fine point, and I put the dot here, right? And I just make a line. It can be a wavy line, or maybe a straight line. That's what we see. But if we get a thicker marker, the thicker marker also will make a line. But when they are together next to each other, thin lines and thick lines, you can notice that they create contrast. And the thick line kind of seems that it's closer to us than the thin line. This is something good to remember. Now, when we talk about texture, we can use pretty much anything. You can use little lines like that. You can put lines in like this. We can use softer lines and just add and add and add for softer texture. Or if you want to make something look spiky, we can just go like this. Here, here, and now it looks spiky. A pattern is when we use the same texture lines, but we repeat them in certain order, right? So over here, you can see I have a pattern of flowers repeating, a pattern of dots repeating, pattern of stars, big stars and little stars just thrown around. I even did this, which looks like a piano a little bit to me, but all this is a thin lines I just drew thin lines, and then I came back with a fat, thick marker and filled in sporadically or in an order, your choice, and it created another pattern for us to look at. Okay, so enough about this. Let's make something pretty. So this page, it only has the initial, but I'm thinking that this page is rather large, and so just the initial is not going to be enough. So I'm going to do my whole name, and I'm going to show you how to create a bubble letter. Bubble letters for, you know, whatever letters you have to use. So let's start from the beginning here. Let's start with the frame. The frame is just your thick Sharpie going all around the perimeter, and it doesn't need to be straight. This is like the best part. If you feel better using a pencil and then going around with a Sharpie, do so. I just go freehand and straight away. So I'm going to start somewhere here, and I'm not even going to try to make it straight. I'm just going around my page, making sure I have a nice, kind of a good frame to help me see where I'm working. Now this one doesn't have a double frame. I kind of now on a streak of doing double frames, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. See, I'm not even trying to make it straight. That's not the point. Okay, and now I'm gonna shift to the pencil to work on the name. So I want my name somewhere in the middle. You can put your name in the corner, in the lower corner, in the on the bottom, whichever you like, whatever positioning you want, you can do this. Also, you can do like straight, let's say like a rectangle over here, right? And just fill your name in the rectangle, but that's not limited to that. You can make a circle and fit your name into the circle. You could make a heart, fit your name into a heart. So let me do the circle, and then it will show you, you know, how I'm doing this. This is not that hard. The circle doesn't need to be perfect, but you can always use something from the kitchen, like a cereal bowl, and just put it down and make a nice, good circle if that's your thing, if that's what you like. So I'm just using my pencil, and I'm just gonna go a few times around to make sure that, oh, that's probably too big. I just wanna make sure that I have just the shape that I like. And as you can see, I'm working from my shoulder here. I'm not trying to do a circle like this. I use my shoulder. So I think I really like this little circle right here. Perfect. My name has 4 letters, L-U-B-A. So I'm going to break this down in the middle, and then I'm going to break again just to fit 4 letters, L-U-B-A. Now, somewhere in here, I'm going to try and fit L, U, B, and then A fits right in here. And then that's the trick. I'm going to trace around my letters using soft, rounded lines to create a bubble. So for letter L, I'm going to start here at this corner, go around, round, down to the corner, around, and bring it back. And that's my first bubble letter. Letter U, same way. I'm going around, down, back up. So I'm pretty much putting like noodles. It looks like noodles to me around my letters, okay? They don't need to be perfect. They need just to look like letters, and maybe that's my B right here, and then I'll need, I forgot that it's a bubble letter for some reason in my head. Okay, the opening needs to be soft and rounded, so we're gonna do this and that, and then we're gonna go around the letter A the same way, and then in the middle here, we're gonna add a soft triangle, just like that. Okay, it doesn't look like much right now, but it will eventually. So let's take the thick Sharpie and just go around the letters first. Oh, the sound of the Sharpie on the paper. So satisfying. Now, as you see, I'm not tracing exactly on my lines. I'm still adjusting and moving a little bit, and that's okay. Let's see, I want to move letter B a little bit off to the right because it's right on the fold and it's a little bit hard to work with it. So I'm just gonna let it go like that and then go over the fold, but I do not want to be on the letter U with that. Okay, and so I'll need to move those a little bit, the openings, maybe here. So this is like a thing, like the first page of your journal, and anybody who opens that journal will know straight away that this is your journal because it has your name, you know, straight and forward in it. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my thin marker and I'm gonna go around the circle, but what I decided to do, I'm gonna do wavy lines and then maybe add a little bit of floral design to it. So just follow my circle, not overthinking, just freehand, don't worry about it. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So let's add some more like branches, you know, vines, whatever is going here. So I'm gonna go around this circle 2 more times. So it's 4 in total, okay? 4 times total, just 1 more. All right, so now we have our focal point. I'm going to give it a second. Thank God Sharpies dry so fast. Okay, erase. Erase, erase, erase. Whoops. Erase all the pencil. So creating this kind of page is perfect for anybody who's just beginning on their art journaling adventure, because you don't know what you don't know, and depending on your level, where you come from, exercises like this and pages like this really introduce you to the whole process from the very beginning. You start learning the line, the pattern, textures, and then you start getting introduced to composition and using different materials. And then you can start using all of this in order and how you like it, instead of getting overwhelmed with all the boxes that somebody can have up in front of you and you have no idea how to use any of that. So here we go. Let me grab the pencil just to make sure. The rule here is to always erase twice, because you will for sure miss something. Did I get it all? I keep coming back because I keep finding more. Okay, good. All right, this is good. I have a whole lot of dust here. I'll just move it to the side. Okay, and so next step is to decide how you want to break up all this space around the name. Do you just want to use one kind of texture and just put it everywhere? Do you want to think up of a pattern and just add a pattern, a mix of this and that? You can break up the space with your horizontal lines, or you can break with vertical lines, or you can do like a checkerboard, or we can just add like a pizza cut, you know, just add rays coming out and then work with that. It's all your choice. Use your imagination. I always recommend to look back at yourself. And so I remember when you are on the phone and you're on hold, right? And you're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there, and all you have with you is a pen and a notebook. What are the things that you will doodle? What are the things that your hand automatically will put on your page in front of you, or like when you're listening to something boring, but you have to be there? Those would be the things that I would recommend to start with because your hand is comfortable doing them. Now, I think I'm just gonna do the sunshine rays, but they're not gonna be sunshine rays. So I'm just gonna try and go across to the corner, kind of across and down, and then break this in half, kind of eyeball, break this in half. Does this have to be perfect? Not at all. Okay, and then I think my middle is somewhere there, so I'm just gonna try and go this way, and maybe that way. So see, I'm just breaking it up. What did I do? Okay, this needs a break up. I feel like I missed something here. This one. Yep. Okay. So we have sections, and now we get to decide what we want to put in those sections. Let's see, what can we put in there? So the first thing, let's maybe do flowers, okay? So I'm gonna try and put pretty big designs in here because otherwise this page can take hours. Okay, have a big flower and maybe like stripes in here. And then I'm gonna repeat it. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, 4, because 4 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Here's gonna be another flower. And really flowers are kind of my thing that I draw all the time, so it really makes sense for me to put them in 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this one is hiding in the corner, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Yeah. Okay, and now this one has room for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's maybe do this big one. Whoop. Just keep going. I'm like pretending that there's petals going out. Okay, that's good. Now what can we do? Let's do hearts in the next one. As I said, I'm just going big. If you'd like to spend a little bit more time on yours, make your patterns smaller, and you actually can spend quite a bit of time doing that. Normally I would turn my journal around, but just to save the time because it's quite bulky. And here. Okay, gotta have some stripes. I love my stripes. So I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna make sure they're not parallel because that really makes your life a lot easier when you're not trying to make things super parallel. And then maybe here. And which way? Here. Okay, maybe like this. Okay, and now I want to do something like these stripes strike me like horizontal movement. There is a lot of organic, and now I want to add something that's straight up, more vertical. Yes, something to sand it out. What can we do? Not necessarily geometrical, I know. I really love these things. So this is how I do them. I just do a curvy line like this, and I put a dot on the top. And then I find another line, and they look like there is like some sort of a plant growing. I love these little things. They fill up space so good and so fast. Okay, that's good. And then from here, just make sure that they are curvy and you got them to overlap a little bit. This is a very quick way to fill up a page if you're waiting for someone and you got nothing else to do. Just like that. And across, maybe here. Okay, so we have our background. Now we need to look into the name. So we can use it, we can do positive space or we can do negative space. What does this mean? If we go for positive space, it means that we're gonna put all of the textures and pattern into the letters, and all the surrounding space is going to stay empty. If we go into the negative space, it means that we're going to fill all of the space around the letters and like these little things with some patterns and textures, but the letters themselves, we're going to leave them empty. By doing so, choosing either negative or positive space, we will be introducing contrast. If we fill up both the outside and the inside of the letters are going to disappear. And we really want to be able to see our name on the page. So decide what it is that you want to do. I'm going to do positive space, and I am not going to overthink this too hard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break my letters in half. So I'm just drawing a line right through the middle, right here. Okay, and then the top, I'm just gonna do chevron pattern, which is like a zigzag going up. It's pretty easy and fast to do. Here we go. Just keep going until you have all the tops. Also, staying to the same pattern kind of helps with the consistency of your design. And so if we put a different design on every top of the letter, it will be very hard for somebody who looks at your art. It will be hard to recognize what's happening without paying extra attention, you know? So we just want to be able to kind of show off, yep. Because, you know, I do say that art journaling is just for you and you don't have to show it to anybody. But quite honestly, when I first started art journaling and I would make a page, guess what was the first thing I did? I would bring my page to my husband and I'll be like, look what I did. And he learned to appreciate it. Let's keep it at that. He is not very artsy, but he really likes that I'm happy when I do this. So he is very supportive, and I very much appreciate that. In any case, talking about that, right? But if your spouse or your close person is not very supportive, find somebody who is. Find a friend who will appreciate what you're doing and share with them. So I have this, and then on the bottom, I'm gonna put flowers. So I'm just gonna do a little bit this. And I'm not sure if the camera is showing you, but I have sunflowers and I have some dill over there. And dill is like my favorite thing, sunflowers and dill. So this is what I'm doing. Dill is my thing. I love it. So I'm just gonna put a lot of little dill plants. This one is probably gonna be super long, so I'm just gonna break it up a little bit, like the plants are coming out of somewhere. And see, they don't need to be perfect. You can just doodle them. Just doodle, don't overthink. I don't know, maybe you like tulips. You could put tulips in there, or little sunflowers, or you know, whatever strikes your fancy would work. Okay, so as I'm finishing this, we are kind of approaching the end of the episode. This is kind of part one of this page. So what I'm gonna want you to do before we start on the second page, I want you to finish all of your designs, and for our next session, so to speak, bring some coloring pencils. If you want to do it with me, just like go along, bring some coloring pencils. That's what we're gonna use. We're gonna put some color into our design. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. I want little leaves here. So I do know that dill doesn't have leaves like that. But if I start drawing like real dill leaves, we're never gonna leave, right? Because they're so tiny and wispy, and there's so many lines. So I'm just adding little leaves to kind of help show off those little stems. And let's see, let me show you right here. This is what I'm doing, because I know that I go super fast and it's very hard to see. For the dill, this is what I'm doing. The stem, then it's letter U. I'm doing upside down so you guys can see it. And then again and again. And so depending on how much room you've got, you can go, and then maybe you can add some going down, right, like that. You can add dots on them if you like. And then the leaves, I'm just doing, it's like bunny ears, 1 ear, 2 ear. Okay, it's just that here it's super small and it's really hard to see. Alrighty, so I'm done with my leaves, and I'm gonna tell you for the next one, also bring your Sharpie again, okay? And so, yep, we are done with part one, and I will see you in the next one.